Ooh, John Cena, he's a beast. We are going to begin strong. In order to have a strong beginning for your narrative, there are some must-haves you need to include. You must grab the reader's attention, introduce the characters, introduce the setting, and hint to the central conflict without giving away the whole story. Authors do this in many ways, but today we will go over 4 of them. The first way we will discuss is beginning with dialogue. Remember that dialogue is a conversation between 2 or more characters. Dialogue can be a great way to begin because it may show the reader something important about the character. It may also be a way to introduce a central theme. Read the following excerpt from the book, A Time for Andrew, by Mary Downing Hahn. Has the author included the must-haves? What can we tell about how the mom is feeling about the house? How does the dad feel? Clearly, the author wants us to understand that mom and dad have differing views on the situation. Tone is the attitude a writer has toward the topic, characters, and plot. To set a tone in a story, a writer will often use showing detail, sensory language, and connotative words. This helps not only to paint a picture in the reader's mind, but also to help the reader experience the tone. Read this excerpt from Midnight Magic by Avi. What words in this passage create a tone? If you said the tone is ominous or threatening or spooky, you are right. And the highlighted sensory details probably led you to that answer. Rain that sounds like hissing snakes paints a very different picture than rain sounding like tiny tap dancing mice. Characterization can also help set a tone. Oftentimes, thoughts of characters reveal humor or pain or another emotion that will carry throughout the story. It can also draw a reader in by allowing the reader to connect or to start to care about that character. Read this beginning from Walter Dean Meyer's book, Monster. I can infer from this beginning that the character has a lot of experience, both crying himself to sleep and with hearing other people getting beaten up. It makes me wonder about the setting. Where would someone who has these experiences be living? It makes me wonder even more about the character. Is this a child? Why is he crying? This technique will want to make readers keep reading to find out the answers to those questions. Many young adult novels begin with a statement that draws you in from the first line. This is a great technique to use if your story involves a very unique conflict, something that seems opposite to what we think is normal. This technique, like the previous one, should leave your reader asking many questions and wanting to read more to find out the answers. Read the following beginning from Michael Crichton's Prey. What? Why is this character making children sick? Why would making someone sick be their only hope? You want to read more, don't you? Middle of the action is an important technique that begins the story at the inciting incident. This is an event that begins the story's central conflict. This is sometimes described as putting your character in the setting and having the character do something related to the conflict. For example, if your story is about a frightening plane ride, start with your character already on, or at least boarding, the plane. Have them notice that the exit sign is flickering because this might hint to mechanical difficulties. Do not start the night before where he or she is at home packing. Who wants to read about packing? This is different than a flashback. The writer does not start at the climax and then go back in time and say, "This is how it all started." The writer starts at the first event leading up to the climax and continues from there. Read the beginning of The Golden Compass. Lyra and her demon are already moving through a dark hall and trying to stay out of sight. Do we want to read more? You bet. So, these are your must-haves when you're beginning your story. Write them down in your notes. And finally, here are your 5 ways to grab your reader's attention in your beginning. Again, write these down in your notes. Now go analyze and write some beginnings on your own.